Introduce him shortly. But yeah, these are our quarterly Queensland Primary Healthcare Network meetings, and our last one of the year is today, and it's always held in Disability Action Week. So we've got a great lineup today. So I'll just keep going while David's getting that. But let's start with acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we're meeting today. For us here in Brisbane, that's the Turrbal and Yagara peoples, and also pay my respect to elders past, present and emerging. Also like to thank Quake for letting us use their training room. I don't know if you know, we share a building with Quake, the Queensland Aboriginal and Islander Health Council. So a big thank you to Quake. See some beautiful artwork around the room. How are we going? We're live? Yep. Hi everyone, if you've just joined us online, we've just done an acknowledgement of country and I'm just kicking off the meeting. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we start. If you could make sure your mobile phones are on silent. We'd like to thank all our speakers from the outset. We'd also like to thank our sponsor today. We've got Rachel from MediProtect here today. Where are you, Rachel? Oh, there she is. And Rachel's going to talk to you at the end. So thank you so much. MediProtect sponsored today and this corresponding meeting last year. So big thank you to MediProtect. I'd like to also introduce our Auslan interpreters. We have Pauline and Candice, who will be doing the Auslan interpreting during the session. Can I ask presenters to give a brief self-description before you begin, to assist low vision and blind audience members to get the context of your presentation. Bathrooms are just down the hall there, and I think that's all the housekeeping I need to do. And there's a quiet room on level 2. If anyone needs a quiet room at any point, let one of the checkup staff know, and we've got a space on level 2. Anything else, Mandy? Okay, it's my great honour now to introduce our chair today, and it's Dr. Dinesh Palapana, OAM. Doesn't need a lot of introduction, but Dinesh is a doctor, lawyer, researcher, and disability advocate. Do you want me to read your bio?
Oh no, it's okay.
You don't? So let's welcome him. Thanks, Dinesh. Oh, yeah. Had one thing to remember.
Thank you. Okay, great. All right, thank you everyone for having me today and Check Up Australia. Thanks for the opportunity that you've given me over the years to contribute to your important work, especially Mandy, who I think is an amazing human being. So to describe myself, I'm tired of getting chosen for these things, for my looks. Yeah. But you know, it's helped me get by life so far. So to describe myself, then I'm a good-looking man of caramel complexion, with black hair, dark eyes. I'm wearing jeans because I hate wearing suits, and a blue jacket and a white shirt. So, the theme of 2025 for Disability Action Week is to communicate, connect, and create. And this recognises the important and vital roles that people with disability play in our community. Isn't it something important to think about? I was having a conversation over the weekend. I wanted to go and work in a regional hospital in the West. I was talking to the director of this particular hospital, and I love being a doctor, and I don't want to go out and this was never about money for me. So I was trying to negotiate with him so I could go and work there for free. And he insists that a doctor should be paid, and so we got into this debate. Nonetheless, I said that all I want to do is to be useful and feel valued. And I think for people with disability, this is a key thing, isn't it, for our community? We want to be a part of the community, we want to contribute, we want to feel valued. We just want to play a role in this society just like the rest of us. And there are people that do. I've been thinking about connecting and communicating and creating together, especially over the last few days. I was out in Longreach last week. Incredible spot. It's beautiful. It's hot. There's a family of emus that roam around the place. And I love going out there. You wander down the streets, you can say hi to people. They say hi back. They're very kind, they're very helpful. There's a mango tree, and we took some mangoes from it as we were wandering around. It was amazing. And I was connecting with an organization there that talked about the challenges that people with disability face when they're living in a regional or rural area. It's a vast geographic area. The resources are way less than what we have in the southeast corner. And there are different challenges, not just in health, but in participating in the community, in employment. All of these things can be challenging. And yesterday, I spent some time with the Torres and Cape York Hospital and Health Service team. Similar things, right? They're so vastly spread out, the resources are different, and the challenges that people face in actually a majority of geographical Queensland is so different to us. So when we communicate, when we talk about communicating, I find that we often run the risk of being in an echo chamber, isn't it? I think it's not helpful to talk amongst ourselves in our own localities, to our own people, because we're all exchanging the same ideas, the same challenges. But if we're talking about communicating, I think we have to transcend geography. We have to transcend borders. We have to transcend race, ethnicity, all of these things. We have to be brave enough to talk to people with different ideas. Us in this room, virtually, we're not the people we need to convince, is it? Really? It's the people who are not in this room, who are not a part of today, that we need to talk with. So communication takes courage, and it takes a sense of adventure to wander into the other side, to talk to the people who don't believe, and to try and generate ideas through robust discussion. I met, I think, one of the most inspiring people in my life during the time I had at Longreach. And I think this highlights the roles that people with disability play in our community. So I went to the Qantas Museum in Longreach, which was an amazing place. And I got to meet all these people from the disability community. So there was a guy there who was a mechanic with his spinal cord injury. There were all these families doing this together. So I did my duty, and then this guy wanders up and he said, "Hey Doc, I was having a beer at the back and was wondering if I could say a few words." His name was Dave. So Dave started telling his stories, like I was a sheep shearer and I am right-handed, but I had a car accident and amputated my right arm. And geez, they build them tough in the West. He said he was in the hospital for a week and he's like, yeah, then I realized I've got to go home and look after me kids. So I just drove myself home from the hospital with his left non-dominant arm. And then he said, I realized I've got to keep feeding me kids. They said I'd never become a sheep shearer again because I've lost my dominant arm and there's never been a one-armed sheep shearer. I said, bugger all, I'm going to work this out. So he got this attachment for his what's left of his right limb. start shearing sheep again. So I got this photo of the man shearing sheep with his non-dominant arm, and he has a great life out there. And Dave, he's got one of the best attitudes, senses of humor, and he does something that is important, but he also inspires others, doesn't it? We need to be brave enough to explore our communities. We need to be brave enough to have conversations in places that we may not think of. We need to be able to connect with communities that are hidden. We need to be able to get these ideas because, geez, if this guy's shearing sheep with his left non-dominant arm, got me thinking about what more I could do procedurally as a doctor in this southeast corner. And we need to create things together. I came to Australia in 1994 from Sri Lanka with my family as a migrant. I love this country. I've been here since then, and it has given me every opportunity. But I think most of all, fundamentally, as we do this work together, to contribute to the lives of our communities, to our people, to the diverse faces that make up this beautiful country, I think we have to remember to fight together to uphold the principles that it's been built on. We throw around ideas like a fair go so lightly sometimes, but actually these things matter. A fair go for people like me, a fair go for people like Dave, a fair go for all of us in this room and beyond. Because if we stop fighting for these things, as they say, the only things necessary for bad things to continue is for good people to do nothing. So those are some of my thoughts about the theme of this year: connect, create. But I think it's now time to move on to the rest of the session. So I'll be emceeing, I'll be asking some questions, I'll be introducing our speakers, and I'll be doing these duties, which I've seldom done except at a wedding. So I want to introduce you to the next speaker, Joshua Bamford. Joshua is a Human Resources Director at the M&H Ward Group, McDonald's. Is that McDonald's? I didn't know that. It's my first job. Yeah. I used to work at McDonald's, so yeah.
It's a great place.
So it's an award-winning disability employment practitioner, alternative recruitment pathways expert. His advocacy has led to people with disabilities being prioritised regionally, including the DET's creation in 2024. And Joshua oversees 7 McDonald's restaurants in the Toowoomba and Darling Downs region, managing over 650 employees. It's pretty impressive. Living with double deficit dyslexia and short-term memory loss, Joshua leads with empathy, innovation, and authenticity. He has designed award-winning inclusive employment programs, placing over 65 individuals with disabilities into meaningful roles, and developed pathways for refugees, First Nations youth, mature-aged and at-risk job seekers, and school-based traineeships for those with intellectual barriers. Joshua's philosophy is clear: recruit genuine participants for genuine labour needs, consider individuals on merit, and implement adjustments as required. He champions inclusions as the norm, ensuring fairness, capability, and opportunity for all. So I'm going to introduce Josh. Thank you very much for joining us today. And maybe I can talk to you about resuming my career at McDonald's.
Never say never. Good afternoon, everyone. I appreciate the invitation I've received to come and speak here today. In terms of who I am, excellent presentation. Mind you, I do have to explain myself. Now, I have to be honest, that's not the easiest of things to do. So I guess I'm Caucasian. I have generally a fairly short haircut. At the moment, it's getting a little bit long. I wear glasses. I really wouldn't know how to describe my face. Mind you, since I've become a father, I've noticed I'm starting to get a bit of a double chin going on. So there could be something in that. I'm only 176 centimetres tall and of medium build. I think that's as best as I could explain it to you. Does this clicker work? Yeah. Yep, cool. Alrighty, so enough with me for a second. I know that it may not be known to many individuals within this room, but McDonald's in Australia, only 20% of the restaurants are actually owned and operated by a company, which is McDonald's Australia Limited. The remainder are owned and operated by local franchisees. Many of them have grown up in the region that they are operating in. If you want to become a McDonald's licensee, you actually have to do a year of free labour. So they start you out as a crew person and you have to work every single position from crew right through to restaurant manager before you're even considered to be able to purchase a restaurant. And that's irrespective of any financial backing. You can have as much money as you like. However, you will still be required to go through a full year process. So in terms of the strength of McDonald's, it's our people. In terms of our organisation, which is known as the M&H Ward Group, we've been in place since 1999. I was born in the 1900s, as my younger employees now like to quip. So my discussion today is going to be based on what we call practical disability employment pathways. So in 2020, we hit something that I think everybody knows, which was COVID. And especially for the individuals in this room, I'm sure that it was an extremely challenging time as well. I, in my career, had never faced such significant, I guess I would say, challenges when it came to every aspect of human resources. Every morning was something different that the Queensland government was handing out. But one of the biggest concerns that I had was I didn't have enough staff. So what a lot of people may not be aware of is, especially in Queensland, we didn't actually shut down. So we kept drive-thrus running and we were hitting record sales. So I needed an extra 20% of staff and I wasn't getting applications anywhere I was going. I grabbed the recruitment handbook, so to speak, that effectively was used up until that point and decided that it was time to throw it out the window. It wasn't working for the new norm. And this is what began my journey on the disability employment pathway. So my focus as a HR practitioner is always going to be finding the right person for the right job that is filling the right labour shortage. So this is a discussion about employing individuals with barriers based on the fact that they're the right person for the job, not based on the fact that we have a policy in place to hire a certain number. I have a strong focus on what's called equality of choice. So for me, I want to be a business and represent a business that somebody with a disability or barrier knows will offer you an opportunity, provided you have 4 main traits: honesty, integrity, productivity, and reliability. So I'll touch on reliability in a second. Those are the only things I need from each and every applicant. Everything else we talk about in an interview. Now, the interview process itself is specifically designed to be a chat. We're not there to have very formal meetings and be very formal about it. I need to know whether this person has those 4 traits and whether they can have a conversation with me. Because if they can have a conversation with me, I know they can have a conversation with our customers, managers, staff, stakeholders. From that point forward, if we have identified that this individual is going to fit into the organisation to fill a genuine labour shortage position, that's when they can be brought on board with us, and we assess what their position description is independently with each one to see what we need to mix and match. So it's about creating an environment within the workplace where everybody else in the business recognises that individuals were recruited based off of the fact that they are the right person for the job, nothing else. The way we operate the disability employment pathway, which is now at 65 plus individuals on board with us, is now very well streamlined. So we work with two significant stakeholders, which are APM and At Work Australia. When we began the program, I said to them, I'm going to make mistakes. I've never done this before. I actually don't know what I'm doing in this regard. So what I need from you is that brutal, honest feedback. I know we're going to get things wrong, but let's communicate appropriately. And who would have known that's one of those topics that we have for the new year. Let's communicate openly and honestly about things that have occurred, things that we can do better from both sides. And we also brought the employee into this feedback loop as well, so that they had open and transparent conversations with somebody at the top that can make the decisions and can make something happen for them. And consistently communicating and being honest and upfront has always been the key to the success of the program. So, just push forward. For the position now, this started in 2020. We are now in 2025. It is a very matured program. In the program, we have all IEA contract holders know about our business, know how to pre-screen individuals for the role, because as I'll say many a time, irrespective of whether you have a barrier or not, McDonald's is not for everybody, and it never will be. However, the opportunities that we are willing to provide individuals with to progress forward are something that I generally say to somebody that I bring on board, and I say, listen, you would be stupid not to take advantage of everything that we're willing to provide you with in terms of training and development. Take advantage of it. I want you to. Our ultimate goal is to have individuals that are with us for a year. There's no sort of you must go now arrangement, but we prefer a 12-month period where we can then help them transition into what they want as a career. Sorry. It's about providing them with those really critical, what we call career skills. It's building that individual up with career skills and developing their abilities within the workplace. Now, if you have a scenario where you've met somebody who has a disability and doesn't have a job, and you went back 6 months later and they'd had a job for that 6 months with me, I can tell you there's a significant difference in that individual. I see it every day at work. They go from a position of thinking that, many, especially younger people, thinking that they're worthless or they're not deserving of a position, or nobody's going to offer me a job. They go from that position to, I can do this job. I'm good at it. This is great. This is what I've learned. So in terms of individuals that sort of stand out for us, as many of you in this room may know, the 8-hour benchmark at the time was the lowest hours that you could be given as part of the DES contract. Effectively what that meant was an individual had been assessed by the government and told that we don't think you can work more than 8 hours throughout an entire week period. I hired an individual, his name was Zach. He started off with us, he had an 8-hour benchmark. We put him on, placed him on an 8-hour benchmark minimum, and about 2 weeks later, he came back to me and he said, Josh, I want more hours. Can I work more? Okay, sure, absolutely. Let's progress forward. How many hours would you like? He said, I want to do full time. I said, okay. How about for the next couple of weeks, we do hours bracketing? And what I mean by hours bracketing is that we started at 8 and we've started moving you up towards 15, then 20, and then 30, and then 38. Now that individual that was only meant to be able to work 8 hours a week ended up working with us as full-time and then took over a management position. So from somebody who, and when I first met him, was in a position where he had just exited some sort of trade and it didn't go particularly well, not because he did anything wrong, but his employer said, other individuals think you're weird, as in some customers think you're weird, and that's just not working for us. That was the reason he was given at the time, which I just think is phenomenal that we're in a day and age where those things happen. However, to your point, in the regions of Queensland, it is entirely different to where we are right now. You guys have a lot of businesses that are on board with these programs, that want to be part of it with you, that want to create a program. Now, whether that's because they have it in their policies or not is irrelevant, as long as the individuals with barriers are given an opportunity. In regional Queensland, we have employers that tell me every single week that they can't find employees, they can't find employees, they can't find employees. And now for the quick service restaurant industry, etc., it's a general labourer position. Is to begin with, that's what it is, okay? So we're still stuck in this era where employers in regional areas are looking for unicorns, which are exceptionally competent individuals working for pretty average pay. It's not something that is going to ever happen again. And my job, not just with McDonald's, but outside of McDonald's, is disability employment advocacy. So I speak with businesses individually, one-on-one, to really talk about what matters and what they need. I acknowledge across the board, and anybody in this room that has their own business will agree with me, but the truth is this: businesses care about the bottom line. They're a business. That is what it is. As much as we can say, well, they've got a system in place, they want to employ X number of individuals with barriers, whatever else it may be. At the end of the day, they care about that bottom line. And I think that's pretty reasonable, given that they're a business and they're there to make money. So the programs that I operate and how I operate them are not financially impactive in a negative manner to the business. They're actually a net growth. So there is no part of the process that I now have that costs the business any different to what it would be to employ an individual without a barrier. It is that straightforward. So it's always the discussion with the business of, because for some of you in the room in senior roles, you probably know this, we take a scenario, we start at the worst case and work our way back to the best case. Employers that are in regional areas, a lot of them are stuck in that worst place scenario. And they think, oh, I'm going to have to make massive workplace changes. I'm going to have to put a ramp in, or something absolutely ridiculous. And I bring them back from that cliff edge and explain to them individuals that form part of the cohort, and that the vast majority, like myself, have a cognitive disability, and that we are very capable of doing a job. And that's usually the time I have a conversation about the fact that, hey, are you aware that I have double deficit dyslexia and short-term memory loss? Now, I don't let those things define me in any way, shape or form, and I only discuss them where I think they have value and impact in that conversation. Outside of that, I don't need to have that conversation. And a lot of individual businesses will certainly perk up when they go, really? Yeah, really. A lot of the individuals I have on board with me under this program are excelling within their role. They've filled genuine labour shortages, they're an asset to the business, and they're not a high expense. So it is incredibly important to get the message out to employers that disability employment should be a viable recruitment pathway. It should be built in to their recruitment plan for the year. And it's not about saying they need to meet a quota. I tell them that you need to be a business that has equality of choice. What that means is anybody that has any barrier, different colour, different ethnicity, sexuality, whatever you want it to be, they have the same chance of getting a position as everybody else. So we've been running this program now for, thank you, is that 3 minutes? Yep, cool. Yep. I'll break down the final part as best as I can and as quickly as I can. So the organisation itself running the program for 5 years, the biggest challenge was always getting executive buy-in. So while I may sit on the board, it is extremely important that you can present a business case to the board as to why we should do this. And at the end of the day, all the numbers lined up, the facts were there. So in terms of approaching businesses, it's always based on numbers, facts, outcomes, and not you should do this because it's the nice thing. While I genuinely wish that I lived in an area that was a decision-making factor for the majority of businesses, unfortunately I work with what I have. And that is not because they are bad people or bad businesses. It's because they have not had a significant amount of exposure to the industry or to individuals with barriers. So, let me just go to the end. Alrighty, so in terms of our program outcome and what we saw, we had our immediate labour shortage was resolved. So our organisation had to bring on 20% more people, and they were needed yesterday, is effectively how it was. And so we had a large number of individuals who were coming through to fill those labour shortages. I was concerned with the individuals and how my current staff would interact with them. I know each of you in this room will have probably heard it and maybe even said it, because I know I've said it before. A lot of negative things about the new generation in the workforce. To make you all feel young again, I employ people born in 2011. Yep, that's 14. Correct. So, again, I was concerned initially when we started as to how those individuals would interact with those that I brought under the disability employment pathway. And I would tell you this, and I'll say it again and again. The current generation do not see it as an issue. They see it as a norm. I was absolutely incredibly proud to see that the younger people in this generation see diversity and inclusion as another day at work. And that's exactly how it should be. So for a business outcome, we've got immediate labour shortage resolved, dedicated employees with 95% attendance to each shift. Now, for those of you that may have a barrier or know of an individual with a barrier, you're going, wow, they have a higher attendance rate than the remainder of your workforce. Yes, they do. They have loyalty because we've given them an opportunity, and they're genuinely thankful. So you've got reduction in turnover. Individuals employed under our programs are 4 times more likely to remain within their role longer than applicants that haven't been brought in through that program. Those are huge numbers, huge. We're talking of workforce at the moment of close to 700 for our organisation. Program outcomes and indirect business impacts, strong community support. The program is now, it's a 6 times award-winning program now. We did not apply for any of those. Others did on our behalf, and we only ever put information into an award program where it doesn't cost us to do so. I'm never going to pay for an award. That's not something that's going to happen ever. So it's about being genuine up front. By recruiting individuals, that's the list. It's long and even longer than that now. Yep. Okay. The final thing I will say to each and every one of you in this room is that having genuine communication with businesses about what the challenges might be, but also what the benefits are, is extremely important. You need to approach the business as you would as a business development manager. This is something that you're selling, and you need to demonstrate that this is why we're selling it. Equality of choice across the board is something that I want to see in my lifetime. That is the aim, and I'll continue doing it for as long as I possibly can. We probably don't have time for Q&A. Would you like me to?
We might save it towards the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that might be a good idea.
Yes.
Yep, thank you.
We got from 1 till 1 till. To resume my career.
Well, you know, the top 50 executives in this country, from my understanding, 20 of them started their careers in McDonald's.
Amazing. Well, I worked at the Central Station one and the Kangaroo Point one.
KP.
Yeah,
When they were a company.
not sure.
Yeah.
But I could make 10 cheeseburgers in 1.5 minutes. So
That's legitimately good. I found it was a great outcome. We used to have competitions all the time as to who could make cheeseburgers the quickest. But you would have been around in production bin days where you were making them in batches and putting them in the holder.
yeah. Thanks again, Joshua, for your time. Amazing work, and we are grateful for what you do in the community. So I'm going to invite our next speaker, DJ, up to the, I don't know what you call this, the circle. Yeah, hey, how are you? So DJ and I are going to talk about his personal experiences, and he will talk about the school-based disability inclusion program that he runs. DJ is a Paralympian educator and a passionate advocate for inclusion. And then he's a former wheelchair tennis player, professional, representing Australia at the international circuit for 15 years, and won the silver at the Sydney 2000 Paralympics. That's pretty cool. Do you ever carry around the medal?
No. I hated that medal for 15 years.
Really? Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
didn't go there for silver.
Oh, I see. Yeah, okay, gotcha. For the past 5 years, DJ has worked with Social Futures, so we actually work together, as a local area coordinator and an inclusion in schools facilitator, delivering wheelchair sports sessions to more than 5,000 students each year across northern New South Wales. And DJ uses sport and his lived experience in disability as a powerful tool to break down barriers and educate young people about inclusion. So we're going to give a little bit of time to DJ. Just trying to make sure I don't mess this up. So going to give a little bit of time to DJ to ask some questions and go through some of the work that you do.
Yep.
And if anyone has any questions as we go along, just throw it out. I think.
Should I describe myself first?
Oh yes, you
Yeah,
should.
yes.
Yes.
I have grey hair. I'm middle-aged. I have black shirt, black jeans. I'm a good-looking rooster, so I've been told, and I believe them. So that's the best part about it. And got a few wrinkles on my face from smiling too much. So
Love it.
that's me.
And we both use wheelchairs.
Yeah.
So DJ, it seems like a dream job that you do.
Yeah, I do have
Yep.
the dream job, mate.
Yep.
I got lucky, I guess, by winning the silver medal, I think.
What do you think makes the program so good?
Well, you know, the programs are built. There's 6 of us that all have disabilities. We run the Inclusion in Schools program. We all have different disabilities. So the programs themselves unique to each facilitator, which is a different disability. And you know, it's great because my sports ability programs is based around wheelchair sports. Okay, so it's a real carrot for the kids being, you know, inquisitive about it. So it's quite funny because, you know, with sport for me, it's been a therapy, it's been a healthy outcome for me because I was an athlete before. You know, and I get to share my lived experience with the students. I give them some of the highs and the lows. The children, they then ask me many different questions because they're focused on me in the wheelchair. How do you shower? Then looking, do I pay full price for my shoes? I get half price. What do I do with the left one? How do I drive a car? I usually say to them the first thing I do when I go to a car is open the door and get in it, just like you. So that's, you know, the questions that they ask me, and I tell them that I'm a father of 4 children, and they go, oh, you're a dad too? Oh yeah, of course I'm a dad. I'm old enough to be a dad. So these kids, you know, are really, you know, inquisitive, right? So then we get out and we start playing some wheelchair games. And my program is based on your age, so it'll be dependent on your age, depending on what activity you do. So I work up to a certain level. So the younger you are, you do getting used to the wheelchairs, and we build up to the older you get to a wheelchair basketball game, a fair income wheelchair basketball game, and they're blown away. I get these kids coming, I'm good at basketball, I'm going to be good at this. I'll look at them and go, really? And then they learn, oh, it's a little bit harder than I thought. And I said, yes, it is. But the point is that these children get to talk, you know, generally talk to someone with a disability who has an amazing life, you know, so as I do so myself. So.
Would you like us to play the video now?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Sorry.
Inclusion in Schools is a suite of 6 disability awareness and inclusion programs delivered to more than 9,000 primary and high school students across New South Wales each year. Designed and delivered by facilitators with lived experience of disability, these interactive programs encourage students to become the next generation of change makers by exploring difference, accessibility, and how true inclusion benefits everyone.
Can anyone notice anything different about me? Yes.
Like you're a bit shorter than everyone?
I'm a bit shorter than everybody, aren't I?
The first week I go into the school and I talk a lot about myself and about language in relation to difference and the challenges that I face because I am the height of a child, and so then I help to increase the children's awareness of the barriers that are in society in relation to physical barriers but also people's attitudinal barriers. And we look at what they've observed in their community. They also come up with some ideas to make things more accessible. So basically overall, it's looking at the social model of disability to make the environment universally designed for everybody.
The facilitators share their life achievements and experiences of disability. Through engaging activities and sports, they build the students' understanding of accessibility while debunking misconceptions and promoting allyship.
Hello guys. Hello. Well, my name's DJ.
The kids have been really excited. We've been talking about, you know, there was someone coming out who'd been to the Paralympics and basically how we value and treat everybody within our lives and the different challenges they may face.
Have any of you seen an Olympic medal before? It is 20 years old, but that's it. I was a Paralympian in 2000 games for tennis, wheelchair tennis. Are we ready to have a crack at these wheelchairs? Yeah. All right, now you guys are sitting in sports chairs. And these ones are made for tennis, basketball, quad rugby. Okay?
Rugby, you did that.
Yeah, well, rugby, yeah. We can play AFL in them as well. 1, 2, 3, go!
Being delivered by people with a lived experience of disability really sets this program apart and makes it so engaging.
Oh no, one shot. Oh.
It means that children who are curious can ask questions, normalising disability and fostering acceptance of difference with respect and with positivity.
I think having a go is the best way that the kids can experience and understand disability and make them aware that mainstream sports can be played by people with a disability.
Ready, batsman? Yes. Play. I think the best thing about the blind cricket program was that we got to step into other people's shoes and see how they can play blind cricket while they're blind. You get to experience how other people feel. If I saw someone getting picked on with a disability, I would go ask them if they wanted to come play with me.
The best things about the program are definitely the impact it's had on the students' behaviour and language. It's much more positive now. Their empathy is just starting to be developed, and instead of just looking at the world from their viewpoint, they can walk in other people's shoes.
Are you ready, batsman? Play.
Children living with disability also see themselves represented, which can have a profound impact, helping them to feel connected and valued in their communities. Parents of students with disability told us their children are now seen in a new light by their classmates after hearing the presenters' stories. Their friends have a better understanding of their needs and a deeper appreciation of the challenges they face.
I would 100% recommend this program for all other schools. I think the valuable lessons that came out of it cannot be taught from classroom teachers.
Who's had fun? That's all right.
I see this as an early intervention because with children they're curious. They're the adults of tomorrow, so they will make the world a better place.
Unlocking the laptop from me. You want unlocking the laptop? Thanks. All right. It's amazing work.
That's beautiful, isn't it?
Can I ask, just on a side note, I think the curiosity that kids have really opens up some earnest discussions, I think, about disability. I've found that in the past.
Yes.
Have you, what do you think about that? Because I think as adults, perhaps some of these conversations we find uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I find the kids are inquisitive in a like an honest way, sort of a very, and I find it's really funny because I could be downtown somewhere and the kid's trying to look at me pants where my leg is and where you're hiding it, and the parents pulling them away, like, and I said no, and she goes, no, it's rude, and I said no, it's not rude. I said they're inquisitive, they're innocent, and they're really asking an innocent question. But what you're teaching your child right now is that you don't talk to someone with a disability. Don't ask that question, So then they go, oh, didn't look at it that way. And I said that's one of the the good part about kids. They will bring out the truth straight away. But we are role models to these people, and we definitely have an impact on these kids' lives. We change, all of us presenters ourselves, we lead successful lives with disabilities, and you on top of the world too, so very successful man with disability and breaking the barriers. And I always tell the kids too, don't be a barrier, help with the solution, always, and they look at me and go, okay, that's good. So, like I have kids that will come up to me that during my presentation at the end they'll say, I have a disability. They're proud to have a disability. They'll disclose it to me, and they're proud. Now they've got this, you look at you, I'm proud of you, and I'm proud to have a disability too. And it might be different to mine, but they have a disability, so it sort of makes them feel comfortable and sort of opens up a lot of doors for them. I've got an example here. We've got a boy, I went to their school, he used cerebral palsy, uses an electric wheelchair. First year I went there, he was the king of the school because I've had 12 wheelchairs out there, all the kids are playing wheelchairs. Everyone will talk about wheelchairs. He wrote a story, this kid, and so how much of, good it made him feel that all these kids are playing in wheelchairs and they all wanted to talk about wheelchairs. So it sort of made him really feel like he's the king of the school. There's another example, like, there's a boy that should be using a wheelchair but can stand up and the longer he didn't use a wheelchair, the quicker he was going to be confined to a wheelchair. He couldn't use it. But at the time I went to his school, and then after I've been to his school, now he's using a wheelchair because he's feeling more comfortable in the wheelchair, and it's going to be prolonged. He's more of a up, down, sit down, use a wheelchair, not use a wheelchair. Another one was, this is a really good story, this one, because year 6, I was doing a year 6 girl, and this boy had ankle issues and feet issues. He could never participate in any physical activity in school whatsoever. He had to sit on the sideline for everything. The day that I was there in my sports wheelchairs, and the teacher said to me, that boy there, he's never participated the whole time he's been at school. He didn't know about wheelchair sports. He was playing wheelchair basketball, modified game, mind you, grade 6, wheelchair basketball. He was loving it. You seen the smile on his face, it was huge. You know, kids were like, oh, and he's now connected into a wheelchair sports club in the Gold Coast now, playing wheelchair sports. So they're really good outcomes that have happened just going to schools themselves, you know, from other kids with disabilities.
I love it.
Yeah, it's great.
I think we're, how are we going for time?
Probably 20 minutes, I reckon.
Okay.
Is that quick?
Next meeting? Yeah,
that was quick.
Please. Yeah.
Oh.
DJ, thanks so much.
No
You're
worries.
amazing. The work that you do is incredible. Yeah.
Wow, that was quick.
I want to hear you for hours, so we'll set up another time.
Thank you very much, anyone.
Okay.
That was quick.
Oh, well, the next up is my mum. So, Mum, would you like to come up? So, this is my mum, Chitrani, and I got to actually thank my team, Garrett and Axel, is Axel still here? It's disappeared. So it takes a team, right? And all these people care for me with love, and I'm just very well looked after, thanks to my mom. And Garrett, also a proud Torres Strait Islander. I think we're lucky to have such a diverse team with different perspectives. My mom, she's taken us out of the war in Sri Lanka. She helped start a new life here for all of us. She kept us safe. She kept me educated, and even after the spinal cord injury, at the cost of her career and her marriage to my dad, to everything that we've built, she's been there for me every day. She helped me put the ducket on this morning, and she's here. So my mom was asking me, she was nervous, and she said, oh, I don't know what I'm going to talk about, can you help me? I just said, just talk from your heart and tell us a bit of the story and things that you learned. So this is my biggest hero, my mum.
Hi all. If I describe myself, I am a brown woman with black hair and not too tall, always vertically challenged. But yeah, so wearing a white shirt I specifically bought for this occasion, and black pants. So like Dinesh said, our journey was not a simple journey. After we actually came from Sri Lanka to here in 1994, life was getting to somewhat normalcy, but then Dinesh's accident happened in 2010, 31st of January. So that's when I was first realized, the extent of an acquired disability and all the challenges and all the barriers that the society creates for employment and day-to-day life as well. If I introduce myself, I am a vocational rehabilitation counselor and Dinesh's full-time mom. So how vocational rehabilitation counseling started was when the soldiers from Second World War came back, wounded, injured. They were actually left in Sydney in the arms of the charities. But then they were not felt accepted, empowered, and also they were not given the opportunity to explore other employment options either. But there were lots of employment happening around town because it was all young males that got injured. So, and they did not want to be at the mercy of the charities. So we slowly started rehabilitating them and getting them back into meaningful employment. Because we don't get stuck in a job that we don't enjoy. When I actually see lots of my clients, they know what they want, but they don't think that they can do it because there are self-perceived barriers and challenges. They will not see me, who's someone who could do whatever they want to do. So they either go sideways or they just don't pursue anything either. That's with the majority of the newly injured. Even when Dinesh was injured, his hope was taken away from day one. When he went to the surgery, I got called into a room with the social workers and everybody else. And then they said, Dinesh will never be the same again. His hands will fall back on his face. And he may not be able to talk. He will never become a doctor. Just prepare yourself for a lifelong journey with all these challenges. But just before I saw him going into surgery, he said, Mom, I'll be okay, don't worry. So I actually hung on to that word. I knew he knew what he was doing. And then since day one, it was a massive challenge for us to get back into employment. Then at that point in time, I took my annual leave and I was there at the hospital every single day with Dinesh. But then the first employment challenge was from my employer, from the local government. He said, either you come back to work or choose your son. It was an easy decision because I chose my son. I wouldn't be anywhere else. Then my marriage. He said, you have to come back to Australia. At the time, we went to Sri Lanka because we did not know what was available for us. We did not know about funding. We did not know about even a simple thing like an accessible car park. So we packed our bags and we went to Sri Lanka. So that's when it all happened. So Dinesh's dad said, leave him in a nursing home in Sri Lanka and come back and work because we need money. I said, no, I'm not doing that. And when all that was happening, Dinesh's dream of becoming a doctor, he never gave up on his dream. He was in the third year of medical school. And then one day, Dinesh said, Mom, do you think we could do it? I said, yeah, let's go. Let's give it a try. If it doesn't work, we can always come back. So we came to Australia just with 2 suitcases and international travel. I was taking Dinesh on my own. Now we travel with a support person. And the support person asked me, how do you do that? How did you do it on your own? But where there's a will, there's a way, right? We always find a way. So we came back, and Dinesh went through medical school. And then in his placement, he wanted to go to Harvard for his medical placement. And I said, he asked me, Mom, do you think we can do it? I said, yeah, of course. I did not know how, I did not know why, but we went to Boston and spent 6 weeks.
6 or 8.
8 weeks, 6 weeks in the knee-deep snow. But we did that too. So that's why I tell my clients these days, a lot of young ones coming out of the hospital, coming out of acquired disability, and a lot of less ones too from schools. They're too scared to get their hopes up because half the time, like Joshua said before, the employers are not open to employing someone with a disability because they're scared of everything that could go wrong. They don't see the potential of having someone who's wanting to work, who's actually interested in working. So half the time what I do is I work in the NDIS space work hour space, NICU, eye care. Half the time I tell the employer, okay, don't you worry. The person who's coming is going to be looked after and come with the insurance through a desk provider or someone. I will be always there to assist you and the employee and the employer. So I tell them what they are entitled to and what they can do, what they cannot do. So that actually put their mind at ease sometimes. But sometimes they are very cautious, especially with the insurance, I think. But when that insurance issue is off the table, sometimes they are very open. They say, okay, we'll give it a try. And that's one way of, assuring them, don't worry, this person will work for you. And also, some of the clients are very scared to get their hopes up because they think, can I really do that? Sometimes they say, I want to work in a coffee shop. Then I ask, okay, you want to go to a coffee shop? There are so many different jobs in a coffee shop. Which one are you interested? Do you want to do the till? Do you want the books? Do you want to become a pastry chef, baker, whatever? There's so many jobs in a coffee shop. Then if they say, okay, yeah, I like to do the books. So would you like to do a TAFE course to become an accountant? So at the same time, I also encourage them to upskill because majority of them are like young kids with no direction because they come out of the school with a disability and they have so much potential, but they don't have which way to go. So as a vocational rehab counselor, that's what I do, and I just give them direction.
Can I think I'd love for the crowd to know how you became a vocational rehab counselor and how you did that master's and when you did that master's.
Because when Dinesh was challenged by the system, they said they can't get back to medical school. Once he graduated, Dinesh was denied an opportunity to practice as a doctor. So we had to jump hoops to go through them. Then I realized there's a massive gap in the system. So I decided because at that time I didn't have a job either. I didn't want to go back to what I was doing. So I thought, okay, I will become a rehabilitation counselor. So I did my master's at Griffith University while Dinesh was completing his medical degree because I always sit outside his medical school waiting for him and during the day. So I thought, okay, while I'm here, I will also do something. So that's how I became a vocational rehab counselor. And today I am so glad I did what I did because I can advocate for others to get to wherever they want to. Sometimes we change careers about 5-10 times in our lifetime. And it's okay to do that because that's where you find your niche. That's where you find your passion. That's where you achieve your goals. So my advice to anyone is know that what supports are available out there and access the best support you can because there's always a pathway for everyone.
So she's on road, did you say?
Thank you. Any questions?
Debbie.
All I can say is I understand the amazing drive your son has. I now understand why he is where he is. I mean,
So did you say she's
apart from his
on
own personal endeavours, an amazing story. I've never ever had to go through such a situation, but for you and your son to be in such high esteemed positions, it's just phenomenal.
Thank you.
Amazing story.
Mandy, thank you for having me here today.
Oh, thank you for coming.
When Mandy asked me whether I could come and speak here, I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
So we're very, very pleased and very grateful to have you here. So thank you.
And you're finished with that now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo. It was mid-August, day after my birthday. So, yeah. So here I am.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Okay, do you mind if I? So I'm very lucky. I don't have to look too far for a hero. People ask me who my hero is, and there it is. All right, moving on. So next we got Debbie. I'm just going to say Debbie. Yeah. And you were both saying we both get by on our looks. Yeah. Cool. So Debbie brings over 30 years of experience in community development, specializing in disability inclusion across education, training, and employment. She'll present on the disability-friendly business basics, micro-credentials, practical tool helping businesses unlock to reach Queensland's significant disability customer base while building loyalty and retention. So Debbie, I'm going to hand it over to you. And I really got to say, leading on from some of the themes that we've talked about, for me, the reason I'm in front of you today is because of education and employment. This is critical. So thank you all for the work that you do, and over to you, Debbie.
Thanks, Nash. Excellent, thank you. That's it, I've got mine, I'm old school. Okay. I don't know whether I need glasses. Okay, so I'm very fortunate to have made middle age. I was supposed to be 5'4", full grown, so hopefully I've made it. I'm wearing black pants, a check-up shirt, which is black with some lovely First Nations artwork, and I have brown shoulder-length hair. And I wear glasses, and I don't wear glasses, so I don't know what I'm going to be doing during the presentation. But firstly, I think I really need to disclose, now that I'm not sitting next to Joshua, that I was a fast food person when I grew up, and my original town didn't have McDonald's, so I'm a KFC girl. But can I say I was a disaster? Anyone who can do fast food, I just wasn't fast enough. I lived in fairyland, and I don't think I have come down from that since then. So yeah, so you and Dinesh doing all those sort of things in fast food is amazing. But am I? Thanks, Joshua. So thank you, Mandy, for having the Disability Friendly Business Basic team here. I have Andrew here with me as well. Kayne's been very heavily involved. Mez and Roxy as well, putting this all together. Okay, technology, here we go. The things I was going to talk about today, and I really want to skip a fair bit of it because I am really talking to the converted. So one of the things that Dinesh said, it really resonated, that we are talking about disability to people who understand and know the benefits of disability. We really need to branch out and have those conversations with people that do not talk about it on a regular basis. And that is what our disability-friendly business basics micro-credentials are looking at doing. It's targeting, start off with looking at the small business, predominantly because large businesses had really good graduate programs and really good HR systems. But we do know from talking to employers when we've been out and about, it really is relevant for everybody. So it's open for lots of people. So we want to talk a bit about customers with disability, very briefly, why we developed it, the benefits, micro-credentials, and also our campaign. I was going to show a video after Kenny and I spent hours putting it together, but I think we're not going to have a lot of time to do that. But as you can see in that statement up there, that people with disability are really starting to, and as Joshua said, it becomes pretty much the norm. And one of the good things about where Joshua is that his workplace is reflecting the community. And that's what we're wanting to see when we're looking at going into businesses. But people with disability are 3 times as likely to avoid organisations if they've had a bad experience. And they're saying that 1 in 3 people with disability report their customer needs are not met when they go into a service or they go into any sort of organisation, any sort of service, business, retail, hospitality, tourism. The video that is up there was of Carol Taylor, who's a really good advocate in disability. And she says in the video that she's not a natural blonde, but she needs to go to the hairdresser to get her hair done. And hairdressers, and some of them are, but not all of them are fully accessible. So she needs to take along her own hair basin so she can get her hair washed. So that's what that video was all about. And that kind of really resonated that yes, we don't think about a lot of things, but it's so simple to be able to put a few things in place that will make that organisation fully accessible for anybody. And I was going to put up a few little slides about some of the inventions that were made specifically for people with disability, but it's made everyone's life so much easier. We have doors that open for us when we walk in. There's ramps that go into to the supermarkets. Not only good for people with disability, but if you have prams, if you're elderly and you have a walker. You know, some of the equipment that we use, some of the accessibility we use on our computers has all been done with in mind for people with disability, but how easy does it make everyone's life? So it's just having a few little tweaks and it's accessible for everybody, and we don't even think anything about it. We just walk in and enjoy our experience being out in the community. You all know this, you all come from this little sector, but 90% of people have invisible disability. 22% of Queenslanders have a diagnosed disability. That's not saying all of us that have a disability but we don't disclose it. You know, there's a wide range of people out there. One of the big things that I did want to have on this slide though was 15% of Queenslanders 15 years or over are caring for somebody with disability or are aged. And the reason why I wanted that in there is that when we are looking about services for people to come into their store, hospitality, into their accountants or wherever, we're dealing with people that have, you know, they want to have their parent, their son, their cousin, to have a really good experience. So what impacts the person with a disability also impacts so many other people. That's a big ripple effect and it does resonate around everywhere. There was lots of others, but I'm going to keep on because there's some more important things that I really want to talk to you about. And this is why we developed the micro-credentials. We're very fortunate with Checkup that we do run lots of industry and workforce programs. And when we've been out talking to businesses, we hear that a lot of businesses, they really want to be inclusive, but they just don't know how. And they're worried that they're going to be doing the wrong thing. So with all that information that we thought, gee, we really need to do something about this because we really want to see people succeed and do really well. If you're a small business, sole trader, you're working many hours. So if there is anything that we're able to do to ensure that you are successful, your bottom line, as Joshua said, is very important. So having a big inclusive environment is very important for that. So we really want them to succeed. Additionally, one of the things that are really is resonating now, and you'll hear a lot in the media, is Brisbane 2032. It's all pretty exciting. It's going to come around really fast. We're going to have more medals, DJ, which is going to be very exciting. But the Olympics, or Brisbane 2032, they claim that they want to be the most inclusive of all games. So that's just not people going to the games and the games itself, it's businesses as well. So they're looking at what are businesses that we can put in our procurement or that are going to be wanting to build or create things that are going to be for the game. They're really keen to have a look at that inclusion and how are they inclusive to all people. So we're wanting, again, to help businesses to be in front of the game and to be recognised. So if they are wanting that opportunity, they're ready for it, full steam ahead. Benefits, we all know the benefits. Joshua has spoken a fair bit about the benefits. But some of the things that I will just kind of quickly look at is that access a wider customer base. As Lisa Cox said in one of the first slides, people with disability, they have money. If you have a look at, and I did see a little stat somewhere where what are the main occupations that people with disability have? They're professionals, they're technical, they're trade workers, they're retail workers, they are educators. So they're all people that have money that wanting to spend, but they're really wanting to ensure that they have a really good experience, and where they go to, of course, represents their community. Reputation and brand loyalty is really important. People with disability will go back to organisations where they've had a good experience. And so will their family and their friends. Will go back to businesses where their experience has been good. So loyalty is a really big thing, and reputation. And one of the big things is that we need to think about what is the cost if you are not disability friendly. Job access, which is very good for people or employers who are employing people with disability for modifications, organisation, building structures, technologies. They say that businesses that are disability inclusive grow 4 times faster than other businesses. So there really is, if you look in the bottom line, you don't have to think far. It is a really good thing that everyone needs to be doing. So micro-credentials. If you're really, really excited, you can jump on your phone and scan the QR code and have a look. They are 3 micro-credentials altogether, and we're very fortunate that we're funded by the Queensland government, so they are completely free. So what are they about and what's in them? This is the part I want to get to. So very lucky, we have a lot of people here are very tech savvy who have made the disability friendly business team look very good in their interactivity, the scenarios. Thank you. So let's have a look at what they all are. And I knew, is that 1 minute to go? Oh goodness me, okay. Ta-da, micro-credential 1, 2 and 3. We look at appropriate services, bias and assumptions, and communications. And I know you're all very excited. So we have a webinar, 2 webinars that are happening this week and a workshop next week. If you want to be stepped through the micro-credentials, come and see myself, and I'll be very happy to put you on the list to come along and be stepped through the resource. We also have another campaign that we're promoting, disability-friendly businesses. So the first 50 employers that do complete the 3 micro-credentials, if you do 1 micro-credential, that's okay, you'll still get a certificate. Complete 2, that's okay, you still get a certificate. Do 3, you can download a digital, virtual digital badge that you can print, put in your office and promote that you are disability friendly, and we are doing that also on our website. And there was a video that I'm not going to play again, but I just wanted to finish off with this, and it comes down to, again, our young generation and the way they are moving with our technology, that in an age of social media, where supporters and detractors can make or break a sales campaign, and they really can promote purchasing, people's, influence people for their purchasing. We need to really ensure that our organisations fit with people's ethics and morals, and of course provide a really good service, and that is what this micro-credential is all about. Do we have time for the video, Roxy? Okay. Okay. Thank you. And because I have to share with Mandy. Oh, no, we can afford no. Sorry, Mandy. She's used to me. What else have we got? That's me, I think. Thanks, guys. And I did it in my glasses.
Okay. Thank you. Awesome. Thanks, Debbie. So we're getting towards the end, and everything will be shared with everyone online as well as here by email, so PowerPoint slides and things. So lastly, today would not have been possible without our sponsor, who is PSC MediProtect. From humble beginnings in September 1999, PSC MediProtect has grown to become the market leader in innovative solutions, insurance solutions for health professionals, medical and affinity groups. A commitment to these markets have seen the company develop unique products like commercial and office packages for medical practices and day surgeries. PSC MediProtect also offers the most comprehensive choice of medical liability and professional risk covers available in today's market. So I haven't needed to engage my insurer yet, but I know many of my plastic surgery colleagues and otherwise often use their medical indemnity insurance providers quite widely. So no, it's really important work, and thanks for providing some protection for us, and thanks for sponsoring the event today. So I'll hand it over to Rachel, who's going to say a few words. Thank you.
So firstly, I'm in navy pants, a white shirt, hair, confection, blonde hair, that's my hairdresser, and very nice. So firstly, to say PSC MediProtect is very proud again to sponsor another wonderful, insightful event. An amazing lineup of speakers, which is really hard to follow. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about insurance. Very easy. So I am Rachel Middendorf. I'm the account director of PSC MediProtect. We're a specialist insurance broker that focuses solely on the healthcare industry. And we're only a small team of 7 in Brisbane. Based in Brisbane, we're a smaller division of a larger. We're a small team of 7 based in Brisbane. However, we are a division of the larger PSC group, which is Australia-wide and overseas. The PSC MediProtect team looks after over 700 clients Australia-wide at the moment. We continue to grow. Our clients range from medical and dental practices, allied health clinics and hospitals, to not-for-profit community organisations, child safety, NDIS and aged care providers, and primary health networks. We have a fair of those. So the PSC MediProtect team provides expert risk advice and tailored insurance programs designed to protect the organisation, its directors, its executive staff, its employees and its volunteers. We partner with reputable healthcare-focused insurers to provide our clients with a wide range of insurance products, including but not limited to the association liabilities, your public liabilities, your cyber, your assets, and workers' compensation. Outside of those core recommended policies, you can also look after accident health policies such as corporate travel, voluntary workers' personal accident, individual and group accident policies, and journey. As a further value add, we have specialist divisions within PSC who can assist with work health and safety risk, workers' compensation, and life insurance. Now, with the workers' compensation, there's psychological injuries in the workplace becoming increasingly visible across the healthcare sector. It's really important to have these claims managed promptly, but with the appropriate sensitivity that it requires to get the best outcomes for clients and workers. So our team there in the PSC Workers Comp are there to help on all states with that. So at PSC MediProtect, we understand the day-to-day challenges healthcare professionals face when delivering the essential services to the community. And we understand that, frankly, you've got better things to spend your time and money on. So our goal is to simplify the process, find premium savings without jeopardising cover, and to give a peace of mind. So if you'd like to understand more about how we can help you, you can reach out to me direct. I have some merchandise over there along with my business card. Feel free to take some pretty fancy pens that we created. And those little things there are lint rollers, in case you're wondering. Yes, yeah. Yeah, see it. Yeah. You can also pop on our website and send through a web inquiry, which will come directly to me. That's me. Short and sweet. Thank you.
Okay, and that's a wrap. So thank you everyone. Thanks to our speakers, DJ, Josh, Debbie, and my mum. And MediProtect for the sponsorship. I think we're a community, aren't we? I think it's so important that we move through this together. Cohesion's important, conversations are important, and together we're more powerful than we are apart. At the same time, I think we have to communicate and connect with perhaps those who are not in our spheres, who are in other parts of the country, who maybe are in other parts of politics. And I think through that, we can create a better future for all of us. Thanks for coming. David, any parting words? Always here for
Disability Action Week session. I think it's the first time we've emceed, but I think you've got this job permanently from now on. So we really love listening to you, and we really appreciate you coming up from the Gold Coast to be with us today. So a big round of applause.
Thank you, David. Thanks, man.
So signing off to the people online, David. We're off, and people in the room. There's some more food.